Hey guys, I'm Bella, the Maker Mama boss lady behind Fiber and Fox, and this is episode 57 of my podcast. Welcome. I'm a crochet designer. I also knit, and this is where I talk about all of it with you guys here on the internet. I am not sure when the last podcast episode is going to be. This could be it. I'm very pregnant. I'm about a month out at this point, which is, within the realm of possibility of bringing humans earthside. So we shall see. I'm trying to keep it consistent. But here I am. I have a bunch of content I wanted to show you and share. And yeah, I don't know what's going to be coming in the next couple weeks, few months. I don't really have any plans as far as maternity leave. I'm definitely taking a break. I don't know how long it's going to be, but if I suddenly go absent on you guys, just know that that's why. And I will be back as baby and life allows. We're going to be adjusting to being a family of 4, and that's going to be my priority, but I will be back with content at some point. So thanks for being gracious in that. Everything you need to know about me is linked down below the video if you want to keep track of me. Probably would show up on Instagram before I would show up on YouTube. Maybe I'd do a community post or something, but we are going to keep stuff pretty private, but I will let you know that at some point that we've had a kid and that I'm coming back. But yeah, if you want to be following or newsletter, blog, all of that, it's all linked down below. So just so you know, and there's show notes also for anything that I talk about today, links to patterns, yarns, anything that I can link. I do link over on my blog in the show notes. So yeah, let's get into episode 57. I think that's the bulk of the admin-y bits. Yeah, just like real pregnant. It's very hot in here. This is the room without AC. And yeah, if I get visibly sweaty or out of breath, it's because I am visibly sweaty and out of breath. But yes, I'm very excited to be meeting our son soon. Let me consult my notes here to make sure that I get you all the good stuff. I am going to have some vlogs coming up. I have one that's already done, so that'll definitely be posted probably next week. Other one is almost done regarding solar dyeing. We did some dyeing with some plants, natural dye stuff, my daughter and I. So those vlogs are going to be coming up, I think, in the next 2 weeks. It's a 2-parter. And then after that, maybe there'll be another podcast episode, maybe not. Maybe there'll be a baby. I don't know. But yeah, the vlogs are coming, and at some point I still want to do a room tour, but that hopefully will get done before the baby. If not, it will get done sometime. Maybe I'll get it done and schedule it out while I'm on whatever maternity leave I'm taking. I don't know. We're playing this by ear. Last time when we had my daughter, I wasn't doing YouTube and stuff, so it was a lot easier to show up on Instagram sporadically and still be crocheting, and I was doing mostly events and stuff at that point. So this is a different transition. And yeah, family is going to take priority over YouTube content. So love y'all, appreciate y'all. Gonna go love my baby. But that's enough about that. Other admin. Today does kick off the shop hop for anybody who's local, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont. The I-91 shop hop is running August 8th through I think the 21st. Yeah, so today when I'm filming it kicks off, but by the time you're seeing this will be a couple days in. But if you want to check out any shop hop events, go check out the I-91 shop hop Facebook page. I think has the most info. And then on my end of things, I have a new pattern release finally. And I'm not going to talk about it a ton in detail here because I do have a pattern drop video, but this is the Dandelion Disperse shawl. This came out last week, and it is my first pattern of, I really need to figure out how to show patterns better. Okay, lean back. No, it's too hot and sweaty to put it on. But yeah, Dandelion Disperse shawl. I will link the pattern drop blog post, the pattern drop video, all of that will be linked in the show notes for you. And anything you need to know about it will be there. It is a fingering weight crochet triangle shawl pattern. Fingering weight, and then one section is in mohair. The mohair is held single. I know a lot of people were wondering if it was held double at any point. No, 2 colors of fingering weight held single, 1 mohair held single. Stripes worked end to end. Really pretty. and relatively, I wouldn't say simple, but relatively easy to master. Probably intermediate level as far as skills needed to get the stitch, but I do have photo tutorials, video tutorials, all of that included in the pattern, and I've pretty much held your hand all the way through, so it's pretty easy, I think, to, if you're willing to put in the initial effort to learn the stitch. The shawl itself is a very simple construction and very repetitive. So yeah, if you want to know more, go check out the pattern drop video for that. I've got all the info there, and thank you for everybody who's already grabbed the pattern and support of it and just support of my sporadic pattern designing and me in general. I really appreciate that you guys want to hang out with me here and that you have an interest in making stuff that I love, because I'm going to design stuff either way for me, but getting to share it with you guys is incredible. I truly believe that I was created to create, and to be able to see that not only just for myself, but to see my patterns in the hands of other creatives is truly a blessing, and I appreciate it. So thank you guys for that. Finished objects. I actually have some. So excited to share that. I finished this a couple weeks ago, I think, honestly. Maybe possibly after, like right after the last pattern drop, because I think we bumped, or after the last podcast. I think the podcast got bumped 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks because of the pattern drop or something. I don't know. But it feels like I finished this a really long time ago, but I haven't worn it yet because it has been just absolutely sweltering. And we're in a bit of a drought, and it's just been humid, but not raining, hot, sweltering in the mid-90s. So that's not my favorite, but I do have a finished summer tee. This is the Cumulus tee by Petite Knit. Yeah, I need to change my camera setup so that I can show you things better. I will put in some footage of me wearing it. I think I have some both pre-blocking and post-blocking, so I will work that in here somehow. But yeah, Cumulus tee. This was my vacation knit project. It's a very simple pattern, but it is at a pretty small gauge and a fingering weight yarn. So it does take a while, and it's very mindless, especially after you get past the raglan increases and are just, stockinetting the body. But yeah, just not like the most exciting knit, but just a very nice stable piece to have in your wardrobe. I don't know if it's showing up, like if you can really see the detail because the yarn's kind of crazy, but it's a very nice raglan increase, I-cord edges. And this one, I'm trying to think what exactly I did because it's been a while. This one I made some modifications as far as my gauge. I think I was supposed to be making either the medium or the large for my bust circumference according to the pattern, but my gauge was off, so I did some math, and I ended up making the small. I think I made the extra small. I think I could have gotten away with the extra small, but I made the small. And it was very up in the air on whether or not I would have enough yarn. Oh, I have my notes here that I could tell you what I did, but you probably don't care that much. Whether I would have enough yarn. I started out with 6 donuts, balls, skeins, those little ones that look like donuts of this. Yarn by Lana Grossa. I think Lina Pura is the line. I'm not sure what Colino is. I think that might be the like Marley looking version of Linea Pura. Linea? I'm not positive. I don't know. But it's by Lana Grossa, which is a Italian, I believe, yarn company. Which I'm not even saying that right. Sorry, Italian ancestry. But yeah, I've looked it up and I've tried to link it in the show notes, and I think this line of this yarn is discontinued. I was able to find like solids of this Linea Pura stuff, but the Colino seems to be something else. But basically it is a 15% viscose, 15% polyester, 25% linen, and 45% cotton yarn. I've just realized my nails are not looking their very best. It's garden season, y'all. Yes. And this is the color 013, I believe. It's an Italian company, but it also appears to have what I think is German on the tag. maybe? I don't know. But I got it at a local yarn store in Glastonbury, Connecticut, Village Wool. It's part of the Shop Hop. If you want to check it out, I have vlogs from last year. But yes, they have like a markdown clearance shelf where I think stuff is 60 or 70% off. So I got this, they were originally $12 and I think I got them for probably like around $4 each. I had 6 of them and this is what I ended up left. So they were 50 grams each and I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'll have, you know, about 300 grams, no problem, to complete a t-shirt for myself. But then I messed with the gauge and it was kind of oversized and it was really hard to try on because I, at the time was, I think I cast it on approaching 7 months pregnant, and now like it does actually fit. It does actually fit me. It's not the most flattering fit because it like cuts off. It's like cropped over my belly, but it does fit over my belly, which is exciting. So I could wear it. It's just been too hot right now. But I could definitely put it over a dress or something if I wanted to. But I was very concerned about it fitting, not as much while I was pregnant, but after a pregnancy, that it would still be a flattering fit. Because I wasn't super able to try it on, but it does. It's definitely boxy. Definitely probably could have gone down a size. But it does fit and I do like it. And I was iffy on this yarn color at first, because this teal is not my usual go-to, but I think it came out beautifully, and I didn't alternate skeins or anything, and there's no like real noticeable breaks or anything where I changed balls. It's kind of a chaotic of enough yarn that you can't tell. Maybe if it was more of a solid, there'd be some spots, but it blocked out beautifully. And yeah, I have whatever measurement of yarn this is left. I was like, oh, I have plenty of yarn. And then I got to the point where I was like, I'm not gonna have enough yarn. So I did like parts of the body, and then I finished the sleeves and the neckline, and then just kind of kept going on the body as long as I could. I think I was about 1 inch short from what was recommended in the pattern, but then I had also cut the sleeves a bunch shorter than what was recommended. So sleeves, I think from the pattern was like go 6 inches from the underarm, which is in the original pattern, almost like right now I have on a kind of long short sleeve, but in the original pattern it's almost like a half sleeve all the way down to the elbow, which I thought was a little much for a summer tee. I'm trying to think of, yeah, there was definitely, mine came out slight, this is not a great description of this pattern. But yeah, not only did I mess with the gauge, but I was concerned that in the original pattern photos, this is like not a good example because I very rarely wear a tight shirt on my arms, but I don't like anything like tight. So in the pattern, it looked like it was kind of tight. So I wanted to make sure I had extra stitches in the arm, which I thought I remedied by adding extra stitches to the underarm when you split for the sleeves and the body. But I realized that also added like 10 extra stitches to the body count. To the body count, to the total stitch count for the body. Let's not say body count. And yeah, so I messed up my yardage completely, but I made it to the end. I think the only other modifications, and at this point it sounds like I've done a lot of modifications, I did an I-cord on the neckline, and then I found that it was kind of rolling and not laying as flat as I wanted it to, and it was also a little bit too deep of a V. So I ended up bringing it in, I don't know if you can tell. So this is the I-cord, this part, and then I actually single crocheted into the I-cord. Yeah, this is the crochet part. Single crocheted into the I-cord, and just brought it in a couple more stitches rather than ripping out the whole I-cord and redoing it all again. And I thought that was a pretty good fix. The sleeves are a little bit rolly, but they blocked out pretty flat. The bottom definitely wants to be rolly. So I think what I might do, I don't have enough yarn to go around even with single crochet around the bottom. I might go around with a gray yarn that I have that's a similar fiber content, and just do like a little accent edge on the bottom, because I really hate a rolling hemline. I know that's a thing that might be desirable to some, but it bugs me. And it ended up flaring out just a little bit because I think it had you go up for the I-cord. I don't even remember, guys. Like, it's been 3 weeks. But yeah, the only thing I might change is instead of ripping out the whole bottom I-cord cast off situation, I might just go around with another color and tighten it up a little bit and make it stop rolling, because that part annoys me. But that's the Cumulus tee. I've talked about it in other episodes. Some snags that I ran into on the raglan increases in the videos that were provided. Was able to figure it out, and it's all beautiful now. But if you would like more, this is a very popular pattern on Ravelry and whatnot. Tons of people have made it, and it's a great staple piece. And I would consider making another one, maybe in a solid color. I would like a solid gray one, but I know that would be a super boring knit to work on, so I'm not gonna do that right now. But at least knowing that I have conquered this one, I could definitely make another one. And I've kind of been on a petite knit kick, so it's not the last petite knit pattern that you're gonna see today. And then I have another finished object, but I don't have it with me because it has been gifted, so I will put in pictures. Completely going back to my crochet roots, anybody who's been following me for a long time, I started out before Fiber and Fox. I was Bella's Custom Crochets, and I started out in like 2012, 2013-ish. Crocheting animal hats, so like characters and animals with ear flaps and tassels and, you know, cat ears sticking off, foxes, all that stuff. That was what originally really got me into crochet and manipulating yarn and designing and all of that, was making up my own patterns for those. So this past weekend we had a birthday party for one of my daughter's friends, or a baby of our friends, or however that works, and the mom is really into dragons, so I made, it kind of looks more like a dinosaur or a stegosaurus or something, but I'm calling it a dragon. It's a dragon hat. Totally not appropriate for this weather, but I figure he can use it come winter. And I never really know what to get 1-year-olds, because do they really need more toys? Not really. Do they really need more clothes? Maybe. But I don't know. I felt like a hat was a fun, functional item. And I've crocheted stuff for them before, and they've used it and appreciated it, so I'm always happy to keep gifting to those who are actually going to put it to use. So yes, I made a dragonosaur hat for our friend in crochet, no pattern, just totally made it up, which was a really fun reset to just get back to my non-pattern following, shaping crochet, just kind of winging it roots. I really enjoyed that. So that is my other finished object. Also have a couple whips to share with you guys. I don't remember where I was last, because I don't ever use progress keepers, but I think I was before the heel. So I'm on to my second of my sprocket socks by Pip and Pin. Right? Yes, Pip and Pin. They are, I've mostly done the pattern correctly. There's a few bits that I may have slightly altered. I finished the first one, realized it was kind of wrong, and then we're just kind of making the second one equally wrong. But they are a scrappy or mini skein pattern, and these were also a vacation project from back in July, and the colors like perfectly serendipitously captured our camping vacation. So these are a nice commemorative project. I haven't been working on them a ton because I have been working on another whip that I'll show you in a minute that I'm trying to get finished for our son. But yeah, I'm almost done with these. How many stripes do I have left? On the white, I gotta do gray, brown, gray, and then a green toe. So a couple inches left on the foot. Very easy pattern, recommend. And she's got it written for 5 mini skeins, 20 gram mini skeins, but also to be able to modify the pattern to however many scraps and stripes and whatnot that you'd like. And it just creates a really beautiful, it's slip stitch colorwork design. So really am enjoying these. I think this is the first pattern I followed for socks this year. The beginning of the year was very much first trimester, do whatever I want knitting. So yeah, these, I messed up the bottom here. I like did something where I like reversed where the slip stitch, can you see? Like I created this weird ridge across the bottom of the foot, but I did successfully make another shadow wrap heel. This one's slightly better than the first one, but still has some gapping at the joints. Not what's in the pattern, but it's what I subbed in. And then yeah, coming out of the heel, I just messed up the slip stitches. So there's like this weird textured ridge along the bottom here. It is a an accent. It is a happy little tree. There's been a lot of Bob Ross, not an accident, or not a mistake, just a happy little, what does he say? I don't remember. You know, that Bob Ross quote about, it's not a mistake, it's just make it a happy little tree. Something like that. But there's been a lot of that in my knitting lately, just focus, and I don't do great with heat in general, but heat and pregnant, it's a lot. So that is my sprocket sock whip. Those are almost done. I will definitely have those done probably in the next week or so. So that's exciting. And then the whip that I've been focusing on mainly was supposed to be the Friday sweater baby. She has it in other sizes as well. Friday sweater by Petite Knit as well. And I had every intention of following to pattern, but somehow didn't. So it's turning out lovely. But you will notice that in the original pattern, the entire sweater is in broken rib. And I somehow got through the collar and began the ribbing section and was so focused on the raglans, because I wasn't used to, it has like a really thick set of raglan stitches. So the increases are on either side of this like column here, which is really beautiful. And I was really focused on getting those right and doing the increases in the right place, that I realized that I was doing the actual ribbing of the body in the other stitches outside of the raglan stitches incorrectly. And I don't know, I counted, I don't know if I added in another stitch somewhere or like just flip-flopped some rows somehow, because broken rib is supposed to just be knit one, purl one for a round, and then knit the next round, and then you just keep switching from ribbing to knitting. But somehow I ended up doing like broken seed stitch. But I decided that I liked the texture of it, so it should have all been like this, and instead the body's like that and the raglan increases are like that. And I'm not entirely mad about it. I didn't feel like ripping it out and redoing the raglan increases, so it is a broken seed stitch version of the Friday sweater baby. And I do think it creates a really beautiful texture. It's just not the one that's intended in the pattern, but I stuck with it and executed it pretty well, I think. The only thing that got a little bit funky is I didn't know how to like end off. I considered continuing this panel of the broken rib like down under the underarm, but that would have been a pretty wide panel of like 25 plus stitches running underneath the underarm, which I thought was kind of a giant thick accent for a baby sweater. So I kind of just ended the broken rib and just went into this other seed stitch rib situation that I had here. But I think it works. I think it's okay. We'll see how it looks once I join the sleeves on, but I have the sleeve stitches on hold here. I don't think I really modified anything else. I did regrettably, the neckline is pretty stretchy, but I just did a regular cast on loosely, but I probably should have done some sort of stretchy cast on. Because it doesn't have, it's a lot to pull a sweater over a baby's head in general. And this one doesn't have like a button or anything. So hopefully it fits my son. I believe I am doing the, what size am I doing? Either the 4 to 6 months. She has a lot of sizing breakdowns. I don't know. The 4 to 6 month, 6 to 9 month, 6 to 7 month. I don't know. It was like a 0 to 1 month, 1 to 2 month, 1 to 3, like not typical standard US baby sizes where it's like newborn 0 to 3, 3 to 6. So there was kind of some more sizing options in there, and I don't remember which one I went with. But my son is supposed to be born in September, so hopefully this will fit him come winter sometime. It's so hard to guess with babies. Like my daughter was not tiny, but on the small side, and he's been measuring larger, so I think he's going to be a little bit larger, but like I don't want to make a bunch of stuff and then have it fit in the wrong season, particularly like a pullover sweater. Cardigan I feel like you can get away with because you can take it on and off, but pullover sweater, hopefully this fits him wintertime sometime. It would be great if it wanted to fit like Christmas time because it's kind of festive. But the original was in a cream and a red, and I had some in stash that worked out as well. Oh, I was supposed to tell you what the dinosaur yarn was. I have that in here, or the dragon yarn. But I'm just using some undyed that I had gotten from Nomad Yarns for our various solar dyeing adventures. So this is just a skein of undyed, and then the accent red stripe. This is great to use up scraps, and I've seen a lot of scrappy ones on Instagram and Ravelry where people have just used like completely different colored stripes, and they're super cute. But I wanted to use the red, so this is Fiber for the People in the colorway Chili on her, it's like the non-superwash merino recycled nylon base or something. That was left over from my Fields cardigan. If you care about the Stegosaurus hat, which is supposed to be a dragon but looks like a Stegosaurus. I used some Deep Stash, which I've lost the labels on, so I don't know why I'm showing you now, because that doesn't make any sense. Never mind, let's not talk about it. It was some stash. Used up the most of it. Have a little bit of this green left, might make a baby bit. All you need to know there. I saved the label somewhere, I swear. Like a good podcaster. Oh yeah, that's the bright green. Comfort DK Barocco in the color 2721. It is a 50% nylon, 50% acrylic yarn. It has a very soft cottony like feel to it. And I've used it for baby knits before and it holds up beautifully, so I really like that. And then the dark green was, this is like super old. This is from when I worked at an auction house and got this in like a lot. So I have no idea. This yarn is for sure like discontinued. No idea how old it is. Mary Maxim Mellow Spun, 100% acrylic. So I used up what I had of this in stash, colored Dark Willow. Used up that, have a little bit of the bright green left, and it's been nice to work through some of these scrappy bits behind me. But anyway, back to the Friday sweater. Yeah, I gotta pick up for the sleeves. I did. Today I finished the Italian bind off, which is something I've never done before. It's a sewn bind off. It's basically, there's a couple setup rows, and then it's basically you Kitchener the hem shut, but not to itself. So like the sweater is obviously not closed. You end up Kitchenering the knit stitches to the purl stitches. So like you were closing the toe of a sock, but not. It's very, very interesting. But I don't know if it's my favorite look. Like I don't know if it was worthwhile. It's hot in here and the camera decided it wanted to overheat. So here we are again. But Italian bind offs, it's not incredibly stretchy. Like it's stretchy enough, but I would have preferred to have done a stretchy bind off. It created almost like a tiny I-cord. I don't know if you can really see it. Like it rounds over very nicely, but it doesn't have a ton of give to it, just like enough. And I did try to Kitchener it very loosely. And yeah, I don't know if I just executed it poorly, but I don't think it's my favorite new edge finish or anything. Kind of okay with just like a regular cast off with, or bind off with, I usually either will do a stretchy version or go up a couple needle sizes on the cast off bit to make sure it has some give to it, because I tend to kind of bind off rather tightly. But I think this will be okay. Again, it's for a baby, so not like you're gonna have some hips or anything, but we do want it to fit over diapered buns and whatnot. But we'll see. I considered taking it out and just doing a regular bind off, but honestly, I don't know how to take out this kind. Because yeah, I don't think I've even taken out Kitchener on like a toe. I don't really know how to take apart sewn knitting, so I guess it is what it is, and maybe we won't do it again. I will probably just do a regular bind off on the sleeves if it does call for this again. But that's the beauty of knitting, is you can alter the pattern as you see fit, and you know, just create broken seed stitch, which I don't even know if that's actually a stitch, by the way. That's just what I'm calling it, because it's like seed stitch but with knit row in between. So I was knit one, purl one, knitting, then purl one, knit one. Early on in the pattern, I'm sorry, this is like the least cohesive podcast of my life, but that's just where we're at right now. I think where I went wrong is early on in the pattern it said to do the collar in purl one, knit one for the ribbing. And it had like a note like, please note that the first stitch of the row is a purl or whatever. And then in the broken rib, it was described as knit one, purl one, and then knit the next round. But then it was like continue working and ribbing as established or whatever. So I was doing the broken rib, purl one, knit one round. And I still don't know how I got off, but I think maybe I was supposed to just do regular I don't know. Her patterns are translated into English, but I think it's just a general European knitters just know more about knitting than I do. There's a lot of times there's stuff in the patterns that's just like assumed that you know or that you understand. And they're not even complicated patterns, and Petite Knit is known for her like basic beginner friendly type patterns. But yeah, it was like, I don't know, I much prefer if it tells you like where to work the stripe, and it was like work in pattern, working the stripes every 8th row while still working in pattern and doing the increases and whatever. And I was like, oh, that's a lot of things to keep track of. But yeah, overall we've executed it well. I need to make 2 sleeves, and I think we'll have a sweater that will potentially fit my baby at some time. So I guess I do recommend this pattern, even though I did it incorrectly. I do in fact like it. I think it came out very cute. And I considered making one for my daughter as well, but maybe. We'll see if it ends up fitting my son, and then we'll go from there. And I have one more whip that is in very whippish state. It is in a tiny bowl. My sister got this for me in Ethiopia. It's handmade. It's very pretty. But I am making, if you are watching, look away. I am making a gift for a friend who is having a baby girl. And I am making, since I'm not making any headbands and bows and girly floofy things this round, I am making the girly floofy things for her daughter. So I'm going to do a headband. So I've knitted this, I've not crocheted just out of a bunch of different scraps. Again, no pattern. I really enjoy just the freedom I have with crocheting, where I can just shape things however I want, and I can fix it and rip it out, and that's what I love about crochet. Knitting, I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I can kind of follow the pattern, but I can't really manipulate it. But crochet, I can do whatever I want. So that's what I'm doing. So I made this little band. I'm gonna put elastic on the back of it, sew it in as a headband, and then I've made it's going to be really hard to show you, but all manner of little rosettes and flowers in all sorts of scrap yarns that I'm going to, if I finish it by the time the podcast goes up, I will put a picture in, but sew all of these little rosette bits onto the headband with various formations of leaves, also made out of scrappy yarns. I just like went through my scrap bin and pulled out bits that I thought sort of went together. It's kind of a random color scheme, but I may have made too many flowers. Yeah, some look like roses, some look like, I don't know, little smushed up carnations or something. And just totally random leaves. And yeah, I'm going to sew them on the headband, put some elastic on it, and it's going to be cute. So that is my only other whip. And yeah, I guess my other whip is a baby that I'm working on. So keep you posted on that one, I guess. And acquirings, I don't really know if it's worth noting, but I got a knitting book at a library book sale. This has got to be 90s, early 2000s. When were you published? Oh, 2010. I don't know who was wearing that outfit in 2010, but she is. But it is a how to use, adapt, and design knitting patterns. How to knit exactly what you want every time with confidence. By Sam Elliott and Sydney Bryan. And I got it for like $1.25 or something at a library book sale. Originally $22 in 2010. And I don't intend to do knitwear design, but for my own modification understanding, it seemed like it would be helpful. I'm pretty good at designing crochet patterns. I like to think it's what I do. So it's not the math bit that I don't understand. It's more just the manipulation of knitting itself, and shaping and methods of doing that and whatnot. So just thought this might be helpful. I don't know if anybody, why would I? This is the thing that is in the book. But yeah, it's got stuff on changing necklines and just overall getting a better fit for your body. What are these patterns? These are not patterns in the book. I think it's just showing some wild fashions. Oh yeah. Wild. How to change sleeves. And yeah, just adapting things. A lot of it involves cutting out like actual paper patterns to get shaping and fitting that you like. And then it has some fun stitches in the back. And swatches, and yeah, I always like a good knit stitch dictionary. And it's got some stuff on intarsia and doing embroidery and adding on other details. And yeah, I just thought it was probably good for $1. So got that. I will add it to my stash of crochet type books down there. And then other, I guess we're going to count them as acquirings, as a plug for the solar dive vlog. This is solar dive vlogs coming up. I have just, I'm only going to give you a sneak peek of some of the mini skeins, but I have so many fun. Boop. So many fun. Boop. Where's the good one? They're all good. It's been fun. Boop. Solar dyeing with plants. And yeah, it's not really a tutorial. It's more, I guess it's a tutorial, but it's not like, definitely results may vary kind of tutorial. But I have this whole basket of things that we dyed up with plants in jars in the sun. And yeah, 2-part vlog. The first part's going to be how we did it, what I used, and then the second part's going to kind of be the results and my thoughts on that. So I think those will be coming out the next 2 Fridays. And if you want to make sure, I should have said, if you want to make sure that you don't miss content whenever it is that I put it up and when I do come back, definitely be subscribed to the channel. That's a great idea. Notifications on, all of that, but also my newsletter. I'm definitely going to take a break from it for a while, but usually any Friday that I have new content, the podcast is every other Friday. And then there's usually some kind of content in between there, be it a pattern drop or vlogs or something else. So that's the goal, but again, results may vary. But if you want to be in the know, signing up for my mailing list, which is linked down below, is a great idea as well, because Instagram and the algorithm and even the YouTube algorithm, algorithms cannot be trusted. So make sure that you're actually have those notifications on and or are subscribed to my mailing list so that you don't lose me, because I don't want to lose you guys. And I am really excited to be going into this new phase, this new stage. Yeah, I cannot fathom how I'm going to have time to record videos, but I know there's plenty of moms who do. And like trying to give myself the permission and grace to like take that break, because in my mind you're like sitting at home furiously angry at me and like just watching your feed, waiting for me to post a podcast. You don't care that much. No one does. So talking myself down on that and not feeling like I'm letting the entire internet down if I don't tell you what I'm crocheting this week. Like, really, Bella, settle down. You're not that important. But yeah, I do want to get the content back out there at some point, and the designs back out there at some point. But we'll see. My daughter was very much never put down for at least a solid 6 months of her life. And then well into a year and a half, never napped on her own, like was not a put down and not leave places, but put down kind of baby. Was a very much needed to be held at all times baby. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe there's some more napping that occurs with this one, and maybe we'll be able to work in some stuff. But if not, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. My battery light is flashing at me, so I will see you in episode 58, whenever that may be, in the upcoming vlogs. Thank you for sticking with me, and I look forward to updating you on whatever comes next. See you next time.